Well, a few minutes ago it was dropping a lot of snow. A lot. But it just eased up here. That was kind of a lazy start, but I was still on the first moto head in the parking lot. I'm gonna have to go over and kick an entrance into that so I don't bounce off of it and splay out on the tarmac and have a car run me over, because they come in blind off of that. I wish the entrance was more like right here for safety reasons, but then Life Flight wouldn't be making money up here. I refrained from using the term puking or nuking referring to snow. So one of my pet peeves. Alright, at least there's a layer of snow down. I can cruise through the parking lot. I'm scanning the radio to see what happens out on the highway. At the Forest Service? Guess I could bust a shovel out, but this is the kind of bank that breaks your aluminum shovel. Actually, I got a better shovel in my truck. I was over skiing a few weeks ago. I was about to kick a bank, and the multi-million-dollar rotary machine came up and saw me doing it, came over and cut out my entrance. Surprised he did that. That was nice of him, but probably the same guy just jacked up this entrance. Alright, that's going to be a good ramp. I can send it. It's always an adventure getting out of the parking lot. A little snow check right here. See what the quality's like. Yeah, so we got this dump of snow last night, the night before actually. Otherwise it had been like cement hard pack up here, and so I wanted to get up and rip it before it goes bad. It's actually supposed to be even better tomorrow, but I have some other obligations. So I knew it was going to be new snow, but not too deep. I couldn't take the SS, the skinny track, out. And that was right. I'm floating nicely. It's a little nice and carvy. Probably maybe notice the difference in sound between the two bikes I use. The one with the long track, they're the exact same dirt bike. YZ450F 2018 models, and they sound different because one has an FMF pipe on it. That's a nice throaty sound to it. This has the stock pipe with a Promoto billet spark arrestor on it, so I use this one in the summertime. Putting that spark arrestor on definitely made it sound different, but anyway, this one has a wimpier sound to it, but I don't really notice that much. Actually, I do notice a power difference. That other 18, maybe because it's a fresher motor or something was done to it. I use the same snowbike tunes on both models, but that other one definitely has more pop to it. Alright, when you see the snowshoes, you know that means it's a solo rip. It's going to be a short one today. I just want to get up and get a ride in and take advantage of some new snow. This is, what's the date? It's like, I don't know if it's like March 22 or something. And we'll pretty much for the next 2 months have these kind of days where we get a refresh of snow, so you gotta always be ready in the spring to hit it just right, because if you wait a day or more, it usually gets too warm and it ruins the good snow. Midwinter, sometimes you can wait a few days after a big dump and the stuff stays preserved, but this time of year you got to be ready to hit it. A good example was last week. Hit some epic deep days, and I came back a few days later and that snow was all gone. So it doesn't take long. Mid elevations are thinner than normal for sure, but when you get up top, things are good. I should pop out up here. Get through this cluster. There we go. Shortcut up to this road. Riding first tracks today. Even with the late start, I'm a little concerned. I shouldn't say first tracks. I had Nordic skier. Beat me to it. I guess when you say the night, get to get the first tracks. So today's just gonna probably be no more than there's a highway down there, more than a couple hours. Let's get out and stretch the legs a bit. Go anywhere kind of snow. Interesting looking woods over here. Some wheelers been in here. Expected there to be nothing in here for tracks. In here. I don't know if I've ever been in here on a snow bike. I didn't realize there was a nice flat section in here. I want to talk a little bit more about the snow chimps. They seem to have become the snow bikers' de facto spokespeople. Anyone I ever talk to that's new into snow biking is either watching them or watching Jethro 450. I've been watching those guys for a while, entertaining for sure, but I don't take advice from the snow chimps because of things like this, being out here solo. I need stuff that's going to be reliable, and they tend to break everything. They'll recommend something one day, then it's broke off or had some problems the next day. I put way more miles in on a snow bike than they do. Probably have I don't know, this one bike I'm on now has probably close to 500 hours on it, and it's mostly snow bike hours. My other bike is over 100 now, I believe. And then I had some the Suzuki before that. So between going out solo and having these You know, long seasons with a lot of riding. You can't afford to be breaking stuff. So I'm going with the things that work. And the snow chimps are always breaking things, so I don't know if it's what they're choosing or what they're doing. I'd like to get some GPS tracks from them sometime and ride around, follow their tracks in the summer, because I can pick up all kinds of expensive gear that's falling off their machines. There's probably a gold mine. Give me some snow bike booty. They're entertaining though. I like watching them. I like that they test the gear. But they'll give some advice, one ride into something, and talk it up. I'd like to hear about something after spending a full season and thousands of, at least hundreds of hours on it. They seem to have blown up lots of bikes too. Wow, this is a more diverse zone than I remember. I should be spending more time over here. The other thing too is I don't know if they just always ride pretty much in the same zone, the snow chimps. I guess it's just kind of that BC riding. It seems to all look the same when I watch sledders and everyone in British Columbia. All the rides look to me the same. Look like they're in the same spot every time. Alright, nice just cruising out on the ridge here. Kind of running out of snow. You can see twigs and stuff down there. There's some logs poking out. And this is crusty right here. Oh, let me get turned around. Go back up to where the snow's deeper. That ridge is what we were on not too long ago. Cornices look even bigger. Previous video I had, I was on that ridge over there. So the highway is down between us and that ridge, so if I have a problem here, I'll be walking down the highway. Hear that, or just get my bike down to the highway. And the snowbanks are huge though. To drop it off an 8-foot wall to get it down to the pavement. Go up here and give you a look. Yep, you can see, kind of see highway down there. Actually, I think this right here is where the nice pullout is. That'd be a perfect spot to drop in and leave a bike and get a hitchhiker ride back up, get my truck. So back on the topic of the snow chimps, I look at my track, already blew over. I was here like a minute ago. The track disappeared already. So the snow chimps not only break gear all the time, they also break body parts. Seems like they're always getting hurt and taken out for the rest of the season. So like the early years, they were advocating the old like leg up like this and you're riding around. I've never done that on a snow bike. I never liked the idea. Maybe because I'm not a motocross guy and I don't know how to ride a dirt bike like that, but always snow biking, I've tried to keep my legs back. I use them a lot to paddle and help turn and drag them to feel the snow, but I've always kind of kept them, and actually a lot of times I don't even keep them in tight like this. I got them out to the side. I think it helps me balance a little bit, but I've never liked that idea of like, and plus you're like wasting energy. Why? I don't get it. Why do that? I can foot plant just fine, but usually I keep it out to the side, away from the peg, and away from the track in the back. But anyway, I always thought that was a problem, to keep your leg pointed way out like that. Now they're talking about not doing it. So again, I don't know what to believe. One video they'll be raving about one thing, the next video they're telling you the opposite. So basically what I do is I like that they test everything, and I pretty much just use everything they're not using. I keep talking about getting a Voyager Pro, but actually they gave up on that. So I'm on a Yamaha. I've never once seen them on a Yamaha. Jethro 450's obvious, or he's on his Yamaha. I think conversely, he gives a lot of good advice. I like his recommendations. But I'm on a Yamaha and it's been extremely reliable. Whoa. That. Right. I'm on a Yeti. It's been extremely reliable. Of course, the Snow Chimps were on the Yeti for a while, but now they're talking up all the other kits. They've become product whores, just doing things. That's good. We need to see the testing out there, but I've already got a friend that blew up his mountaintop kit. From what I hear, I haven't actually seen it.
Check it here after a bit. Okay, thanks.
So I'm still not sure how reliable those kits are, but I've had such good luck with the Yamaha Yeti setup, and I don't mess with grip warmers, things like that. Like you can see I've got the gloves on, so I don't have to mess with any of the electrical setup. I don't like the idea of using doing plumbing kits and stuff for heated bars. I just don't want to mess with that kind of stuff, because again, I need reliability. That's the key. So most of my setup is related to that. So Yamaha, Yeti's been really good to me. Some the C3 intakes been awesome since I got that on. Solved all previous problems. Other C3 stuff seems to be good. The foot pegs are lasting really good. Let's see what else. I tend to the other thing about Snow Chimps is they've got so much gear. Everything's got to weigh at least 100 pounds more with all the gear they got on there. And I'm no stranger to bringing electronics and other gear, but just some of it, like, they're talking up those saddlebags, and sure enough, now in their videos they're ditching the saddlebags because they're not recommending them. Yeah, it's interesting in here. I'm going to see if the snow blew a little better off this other side.
Okay, copy that. Break, station 4, 13 and 15.
Trying to take care of a struck deer in the road.
13 and 15.
No, the snow is not great back here.
The deer needs dispatched and he doesn't mind taking care of it. Otherwise, we're going to have to get law enforcement up there to do it. And I think everybody's kind of busy today. And
Yeah, I got this
13 and 13.
breakable crust in here.
Head up that way and make sure the deer's out of the way.
Oh, drama on the highways. Dispatch of a deer.
I copy. Unknown if OSP is en route at this time.
Police are going to have to get their guns out.
Copy that. Thanks. 13 and 15.
Yeah, it's not great. I'm going to kind of probably cut this short. I thought it snowed all night up here. It must have got too warm because you got that crusty layer in there. Thought maybe the snow blew back into here good, but it definitely did not. And then there's a lot of old tracks and stuff in here. It's alright, just out for a little cruise. I'm not complaining. Snow was better though. I'd probably rip around more out here. Back on the topic of gear, a couple other observations related to reliability, which is very important for me. Across the board, it seems like BCA gear is just trash. Boy, the skier really was getting after it. He had a big loop. I see so much. I used to use some BCA gear, and pretty much everything they do breaks right away. They're good about warranty replacement, but it really is trash. I don't know that I have anything that I've seen or used of theirs that I can recommend. I even had a friend that had one of their Avi bags, and he wanted to go test it and it wouldn't deploy. I guess the sheath with the cable for the handle pull was froze up or something. So, and I've used some of the other gear, and yeah, it's just, I know so many people too. I even talked to ski guides that say, you know, they say it on the low key because sometimes they're sponsored or get free discounted gear and stuff, but I've heard it from ski guides, avalanche professionals that say stuff is not very trustworthy. And their radios too, I dumped those a long time ago. These Bofings work way better. I'm on the topic of avalanche gear. Snow machine users are definitely getting better at having the right gear, but usually it seems like the last piece they buy is the actual beacon, and the beacon's way more important than the airbag. The airbag's usually one of the first purchases. I guess the airbag has some functionality to it because you're getting a backpack out of the deal too, but an airbag only increases your chances of staying on top of the snow by let's see what's going on up here. By 20%. Oh, it's not. Its crustiness is creating some problems. So they, like I said, they increase your odds of staying on top of the snow by 30%. But there's a lot of cases too where the all of a sudden the snow feels good right here. And there's a lot of cases where people have either failed to deploy, they couldn't grab the handle or whatever, or maybe it just, the bag wasn't ready and didn't deploy. Just like that happened to a snow biker not too far away from here. Took a ride early this season. He was never able to, in his description of it, he never was able to grab the handle. It was just too chaotic. So he never even deployed it. Those odds are just for you to stay on top of the snow. But that actually, theoretically, isn't always a good thing, because you're going to take a ride on top of the snow and get strained through a lot of things. So more chances of trauma, hitting a tree. So that's at least one of the theories out there, that, you know, maybe there's some things that could go wrong if you're on top of the snow. So the airbag also adds weight, so you're carrying around extra weight all the time. But that said, I believe in it, especially when I'm out solo. I keep an airbag with me, and I use them. But my point is, that shouldn't be the first thing you buy, and possibly you know, might not even be one of the most important things that you should have on you, because it might actually cause some problems. Might also give you that false sense of security that you can you know, do more because you got that avalanche airbag on you. But that's 20% is not much. I don't like those odds, but it's better than nothing. Main thing is, you don't want to ever get in an avalanche in the first place, because so many things can go wrong. Your airbag is nothing you should rely on to save your life, for sure. I think I know where I'm at.
All vehicles are clear of the operator.
Whoa. Also, you hit these like crusty spots that are hard to get through. So I'd like to see more new snow, more than this. Oh well, it's way better than it was. I think I'm about to see another snowbike track, which is my own. I'm feeling I'm getting pretty close. Yep, there's my track. That was much better coming back this way than getting on that junky trail. So I think it's time to go home. So since I've been talking equipment, that's my setup right there that I'm on today. That's the Yamaha YZ450F, and there's the obsolete vintage Yeti Snow MX 129 SS, and the Quiver ski. I haven't talked much about that. It's been a very reliable ski. I really like it. So that's the setup right there. Do have the Air Pro. Alright, as I'm wrapping things up here, just to finish up the topic about the avalanche gear, the reason that the beacon is so important is because you have to know exactly where that person is to start digging, because if you're off even a few feet, that can cost you minutes, If not, you know, all it takes is a few minutes and someone's going to die underneath the snow. So moving that much snow, if they're buried like 3-4 feet or something, and if you're off by, you know, even a foot or two, and you're not going to be able to just probe around in the snow with your probe, you got to find out exactly where they're at, and the beacon helps you pinpoint that. So that is your best hope by far if there's an avalanche situation, is to have a buddy that has a beacon and they can go find you. You have to be so spot on, because after about 10 to 12 minutes of being buried, you're pretty much, survival rate has gotten down to about nothing, and then you might be able to survive 20 minutes if you're lucky, if there's an air pocket, but pretty much after that. And if you've ever moved a lot of snow, oh wow, look at these ruts. If you've ever moved a lot of snow, it takes forever. So that's why it's so important. And then it's even worse if it's avalanche snow, because that stuff gets more dense, turns into concrete like almost instantly. So there's my old track. So that's why the beacon is so important. Beacon, shovel, probe. And then some of the other gear that's out there is maybe just kind of bonus stuff that you're hoping helps save you. But the best tool is your mind, and just knowing what's where the danger is, where the terrain traps are, because if you get in an avalanche in the first place, that's bad news. Because even if you're dug out, your chances of survival from trauma and other things, like just getting ragdolled around in there, can kill you from trauma. And then of course getting hitting a tree or something, that's what kills most people. So doesn't mean I go out with people that don't have avalanche gear. I think that's fine, that's a choice, but I just know that I can't be on avalanche terrain, and I try not to take them into any places that are super consequential or have avalanche terrain. So I just stay off of it myself. I always have a beacon on, even right now when I'm out here solo, because you never know when someone, I've been in several situations where I come up on a group or something, and you know, if they have a beacon and I need to search, I got to be ready. And then I suppose it's, for the other thing too, is I just think it's good habit to always be putting that beacon in your pocket and zipping it up. So I just always do it, and batteries aren't too expensive, so I just change those out all the time. So I pretty much have a full beacon every time I go out, full power. And so when I'm riding with people that don't have an avalanche beacon, I make sure I know that, and I just make sure I don't put myself out there on a slope that can avalanche. And the chances of avalanche are, most of the time, you're cruising around, you're not in avalanche terrain. You can have all kinds of fun without exposing yourself, and that's the reality of it. That's fine. If people don't want to buy the equipment, it is expensive and it's kind of not very glamorous. I get that. But, and it's a life choice too, with risk tolerance. Some people have more risk tolerance than other people, so. And my friend that died in an avalanche, Rock Creek Rick, he had a huge tolerance for risk and lived a awesome, fun life. He did all kinds of fun stuff that I wish I could do. I was just too chicken. But anyway, that's the way he lived his life. I don't fault him at all for that. Alright, I'm back.
Highway 7, 39. It didn't need to be dispatched.
Oh, good. The deer didn't need to be dispatched.
Copy 1150.
Survival.
13 to May 13.
That's a wrap.